Oh, well, hello. Thought I'd find you here. In my room, that's kind of weird. Hopefully, you can see me what's going on. Since this is YouTube, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're from, I always wanted to try this. How do you guys do it? Is it just like. Okay, that's a lot better now. So, today, guys, what we are talking about is insecurity. Alright? And I just want all you guys to know before I start and talk about everything that everyone has insecurities, and it's okay and it's a natural thing to have insecurities. I have insecurities. Everybody has insecurities, right? Even though you might not think it. And funny enough, the strongest people that you may know also might have the most insecure, what's the right word? Insecure things. Might have the most insecure doubts, I guess you can say, about them. Because at the end of the day, insecurity is all about doubts. And I also want you guys to know that insecurity is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Let me give you, well, I don't need to give you an example, I feel like. The best way I can say it is, your insecurities is a good thing because it's not making you complacent and where you are. So, for example, if you really weren't insecure and you're just in this stagnant place, stagnant job, right? And you weren't insecure about yourself, I would consider that a bad thing over you being a little insecure about it. Because why? When you're insecure about it, it's telling you that you want to improve and get better, right? But then there's a difference between having a good insecurity and a bad insecurity, right? In this world, there's always going to be good and bad. There's good men in this world and there's bad men in this world. There's good women in this world, there's bad women in this world. There's good barbers in this world, there's bad barbers. You guys get the gist of it, right? So the point is not to make your insecurity hold you back, but actually to go out and make you thrive, right? And you'd be surprised at the people, right, that you think, and they are very strong-willed people, right? And you think their mind is just cluttered, perfect, cluttered with all good stuff, positive, right? But when you really look down into it, deeply into it, those also tend to be the most insecure people, right? And I don't want the label of, oh, you're insecure, that's like a bad thing. I mean, if you go down the street and you say to someone, hey, you're insecure, it's not really a nice thing to say, I would say, right? But the point is to recognize your insecurity, find it deep within you, and to grow out and become better of it, right? Not to let that insecurity hold you down like, oh, this guy drives a better car than me, so what I need to do is, like, feel bad about myself and feel sorry and not improve myself and do anything and actually go down, down, down. Or you can have the mindset of, hey, that's cool what this person has, right? I might feel a little insecure about it. Let me use that insecurity to grow out and grow further. And wherever these insecurities are, wherever they come from, right? 99% of the time they come from childhood trauma, right? You didn't think you're good enough. Maybe you were the middle child in a family household and you didn't get the love and attention that the oldest child got or the youngest child, right? So maybe you feel like you're not really worthy of love, I guess you can say, right? Not necessarily in a romantic way. I mean, that could manifest itself too. But what I mean is more in like, like love, family love, and then love within yourself, right? That's where it all stems down from. And just to let you guys know that you're not alone in this, right? There's a very, very specific person. There's a very specific person that, growing up, they wanted to. There's a very specific person out there that is also a very insecure person. I don't want to say it in a bad way. Please don't take it like that. But a man who is very insecure, and when we find out about it, it was through his childhood.
Took a lot of pride in it. And Michael would be out, you'd say, give me a Phillips screwdriver, he might give you a pair of pliers, And I guess I was a little short patient with him. I'd say, get back in the house with your mom. Boy, you're never going to be anything. Just go back with your mom.
When you're going through it, it's traumatic, because I want that, I want that approval. I want that type of confidence. So my determination got even greater to be as good, if not better, than my brother.
Wow, did you guys hear that? That's from Michael Jordan, right? You would never expect it. What did he say? I wanted that validation and I wanted that approval, right? And he wanted that validation and approval from his own father that he was better than his brother, right? If that isn't insecurity for you, I don't know what is, right? But the difference between Michael Jordan and a lot of people was he had that insecurity and he turned it into something great, right? Where most people, they would feel down about themselves and, oh yeah, my dad likes my brother but not me, right? He used that drive that he had inside, that rage or whatever you want to call it, and he became so much better because of it, right? Whereas some people, they want to just mess around with it, right? And if you see, that's from his childhood, but that didn't necessarily go away. If I show you this next clip, you're going to see how his mentality really was when he was going against his coach. Oh my God. Now, as you can see later on in this video, it kind of manifests itself when he's an adult, right? As I'll show you a clip going forward. But one quick thing I wanted to say is when he was very hyper competitive, as many of you know, right? He was very hyper competitive and he was very in people's head, but a lot of people were in his head. Why were they in his head? Because he wanted to prove that he was the best, right? So if you look down to his deep core, in his true essence, that is an insecurity, right? And it didn't just play out with his father. It didn't just play out with the players or whoever it was. It also played out with his coach and wanting his coach to believe in him.
He said, scoot over. And he looked at me and he said, do you think I can still play? And I said, absolutely. That's why I'm here, to be here to help you. He said, to be my coach, you have to believe in me and believe I can still play. And I said, Michael, I believe in you. He said, you did the right thing tonight. You did the right thing tonight. I don't care about the points, but I needed to know that you believe in me. Fast forward, we get on the plane.
Did you guys catch that? I did. That's pretty crazy, huh? So if you look at what happened, he wanted his coach to believe in him, right? And in essence, when he was talking with his father or helping out his father, what did he want his father to do? He wanted his father to believe in him more than his brother, right? And just believe in him in general, like he could be the one, right? What did he ask his coach? He asked his coach, do you believe in me, right? So that insecurity that he had, right, going to talk to his coach on the bus is the exact same insecurity that he had 40 years back or whatever it was, 30 years back, right? The insecurity of him wanting to please his dad, was the same insecurity of him wanting to please his coach. It's the same energy dynamic, right? But you gotta know who Michael Jordan is. What did he do with that insecurity that he have of his father not believing in him and being scared of essentially being a nobody? What did he do with that? Not only did he become the greatest basketball player in his own family, he became the greatest basketball player to ever live, right? He used that insecurity of his to drive and to become the very best, not only the very best that he could be, which is very true. It's you versus you at the end of the day. But he became the best ever because he wanted to show people that he was that person. And why did he want to show that he was that person? Because his dad didn't believe in him. Now, fair, sometimes not everyone's gonna not believe in you, right? Which is not necessarily a bad thing. But then there are some people that don't necessarily believe in themselves. And it's not really about anyone else or what anyone else said. I feel like it might be the expectations that these people put on themselves, right? These expectations, when you're playing at such a high level, when you're averaging 80 yards every game, right? 80 yards and a touchdown, you have that expectation of not from these people, they have it too. They believe me, they have the expectation of you too, right? But from this person, that person, you have that expectation of yourself. And if you don't get that validation from yourself, it could really make you feel insecure, right? So now the second person I wanted to talk about was John Jones. John Jones, I don't think there was really ever any doubt from anybody that he would be really, really bad, or he wouldn't do this, or he wouldn't do that. Whether you loved or you hate the guy, you knew he was going in Saturday night and he was going to get the dub one way or another, right? But funny enough for John Jones, he didn't really believe in that. Look at this.
I want to share something with, I'm not sure if I've ever shared this with anyone else before, but I had this crazy thing that I would do where I would party 1 week before every fight. And I did it throughout my whole career. And this was stupid, but it was this mental crutch that I had. I literally would, 1 week before every fight, I would go out and I would get blacked out wasted. And my logic was, if this guy were to beat me somehow, I can look myself in the mirror and say that, well, I lost because I got hammered the week before the fight.
That's very, very interesting, huh? He would be so scared that this guy would beat him. So he made a built-in excuse for himself just in case he didn't win that fight, right? And of course, when you're someone like John Jones, right, it's the people too that have the expectation of you. And I'm pretty sure he felt that expectation of the people. Like, okay, this is John Jones. He's going to go out and run through this person. So if he didn't do that, which didn't happen, he would have this built-in excuse and he would be okay within himself. Let me ask you guys a question. Why is the prettiest girl always the most insecure? Is it because she thinks she's ugly? Or is it because she has this expectation of her being the prettiest girl, right? And every single day that she walks into school or her workplace or whatever it is, she has this expectation of, I'm the prettiest person, I gotta have that. So like when you say, oh, like your dress is looking okay today. What are you talking about? What do you mean it looks okay? It doesn't look beautiful, right? She has her expectations on such a high level that she needs to always be at the top, right? Or not even necessarily, she will be at the top, of course, because looks are natural, but she always has to get better and better. Like, she can't have a bad day, is what I'm saying, right? She always has to have a good day. And I also find that some people, when they have an insecurity, in order to feel good about themselves, they'll go out and try and put other people down, right? For example, another example, girls, please forgive me, but why does the prettiest girl always get hated on the most? You know why she gets hated on the most? Because she makes all the other girls insecure. What do I mean by that? So when she's walking out, right, girls know who the prettiest girl is in the group, right? They know what the hierarchy is in that sense. I'm not saying who's the better person. I'm not saying who's a good person or a bad person. I'm just saying strictly in terms of looks. They know who, like, the prettiest person is and who the second prettiest person is. Even though they're all going to, oh my God, you're so pretty, girl. Right? But they always know. So when they see the prettiest girl, these girls go out and talk bad about her. And even they'll subliminally, like, try and put her down and make her feel bad, right? Why are they trying to make them feel bad? It's just a crab in a bucket, man. It's just a crab in the bucket. They feel so bad about themselves. They want you to feel bad about yourself so then they can bring themselves up, right? And honestly, I don't know why some people do that. Not just with girls, guys do that too with, like, certain other things, right? When you're the best, you're the best. Like, how does Caitlin Clark get ranked the ninth best shooting guard by the players? Like, come on, man. You guys are hating and you know it. She's at the bare minimum 3, right? And I'm not even talking about star status or anything. I'm just talking about how well you... I'm just talking about the game. You know, there's this other... I tried to find a clip for it. I couldn't find a clip. But there's this other... not necessarily all-time great, the greatest of all time, that also was very insecure. Do any of you guys know a person named Tom Brady? Tom Brady was also very insecure. What do I mean by that? When I remember one time against the Titans, there's this third string corner that said something about him. Tom Brady's already a Hall of Famer, GOAT, right? Everything. There's this third string corner who said something, right? And after the game was over, after Tom Brady destroyed him, right? He ran over to him. He's like, yeah, is that what you want? Is that what you want? Some story like that, right? Which comes from an insecurity. And if you look at it with his coach, Bill Belichick, right? Sadly enough, it is the truth, right? All he ever wanted to do was to please his coach, right? Even though Bill didn't give that to him too much. But that insecurity in him of, oh, you don't think that I'm better than you, made the drive so much harder and made him work so much harder. So what I'm trying to tell you people is that, look, some of the greatest athletes, right, of all time, not even some of the greatest. Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time at what he did. John Jones is the greatest ever at what he did. And so is Tom Brady. They were also the 3 most insecure people in their sport. Okay? So what I'm here to tell you guys is that it's okay to be insecure, but it's not okay to use it in a bad way. You should use your insecurities in a good way, because that's telling you something. Okay, I need to be better, right? So instead of being on the negative vibe, let's be on the positive vibe. There's so many things you can do with your insecurity, man. If you think that you're fat, okay, you know what, guys? You know what? Some people are insecure about certain things. Like, I'm just doing some random stupid stuff on the video, right? It's for me, right? Okay, maybe I should delete that part out, but... It's like what I always tell you guys. You can always make the best out of any situation, and you can make any situation into a positive situation and make you better. Okay? That's all it is at the end of the day. right? What's the point of you being on this earth if you ain't trying to get better? You want to be stagnant in one place? Look at the people that are like that. Do they seem happy to you? I don't think they. So why are you insecure? Well, there could be many reasons. You don't feel good enough, you think someone's better than you, or you're afraid of what people may think. At the end of the day, it's you versus you, right? So if you do have the insecurity, just believe in yourself and prove yourself wrong.
There's something on your face.
Huh? What are you talking about?